Good morning. I'm Dr. Valerie Shoup, and we are here again today to talk about sustainability. If you were here for the last class, this is session 2. This course is about teaching your organization on how to create a sustainability plan. My company is Heritage Institute of Sustainability. If you would like your company to have one-on-one training, I would be more than happy to conduct training either virtually or in person and help your team create a sustainability plan. Once again, my name's Valerie Shoup, and I'm president of Heritage Institute of Sustainability. And I have quite a history in energy management and sustainability, and I'm here to help you all learn how to create a more sustainable business. So if you were in the last course, you may recall that our course objectives were to learn about sustainability and its role in business operations, understand the link between business operations and sustainability, understand sustainability is essential for viable business operations, and to create an actionable sustainability plan for your business or your department if you are a part of a larger organization. And so if you were here last week for the last course, we talked about aligning your company's mission, vision, and values, and how important it is that you are aligned, especially in your social media and inside your organization. Today, we're going to talk about the framework for a sustainability plan. And I believe that for a sustainability plan to work, you need to use the concepts of disruptive innovation, plan, do, study, act, and also understand Maslow's hierarchy of needs and use your sustainability matrix. So let's go ahead and get started today, and let's see where we end up. Once again, if you were here last week, and if I were teaching a class in person, we would review your purpose, vision, mission, and values that you created last week. And we would review sustainability and the homework that we provided last week. So let's go ahead and keep going for this week. And since we are not doing this live, we won't go through the review. But let's start with sustainability defined. So whether you were here last week or not, we know that sustainability is meeting the needs of the present generation without compromising the needs of future generations. In the picture here, you'll see where we put in solar lighting, and this is at behind a school in Dallas. It's between the school and the sports fields. So you can cross this path safely anytime, day or night, and there was no power that had to be run to these solar lights. Okay, so moving back to Maslow's hierarchy of needs, we always need to consider these needs when we're creating our plan, because these are always part of the needs of your business and your employees. And in order to have a strong employee base, both the physiological safety, loving, belonging, esteem, and self-actualization of your employees is important. In my study of sustainability, it's not just about meeting the needs of the present generation, but really understanding Abraham Maslow's theory of motivation defined through his hierarchy of needs. In 1943, the theory of motivation, some of the things you might reflect on is, what do you think about our basic needs? And what might they be? And what's the most important needs defined? And why do you think these needs are important? So this would be something that I would ask you to reflect upon. And as we said earlier, sustainability is about meeting the needs of current and future uh, generations. So how do Abraham Maslow's hierarchy of needs align with the current integrated sustainability model? And if you were in the class last week, you'll see that the model included the environmental, physiological, the social intimacy, economic, and personal security. And if you overlap Abraham Maslow's hierarchy of needs, you'll see there is a lot of overlapping in these models. As we said last week, are these real needs or tree hugger needs? Well, as you know, that we believe for your business to be successful, there are things that are important in your business environment. So everybody's heard of a business plan. So it's a framework from which the business operates. So how many of you are really understanding of your company, your department's business plan? So it consists of people to make the plan. When you're looking at the framework from which your business operates, it's important to include the employees in that plan and have them engaged in the plan. If you already have one, you can ask your employees how you could make it better. So obviously it consists of profit. Any business has to have some degree of profit to remain viable. But understand that remaining viable relates to the personal security of your employees. And so also a business plan consists of responsible uses of resources to remain viable. So protecting the planet is a physiological need. If we don't take care of our planet and we allow our planet to degrade, then we won't be able to meet the needs of our people. Now, if you were here last week, you would have been sent home with some homework, and you'd be looking at this STAR community rating system. And in the course, when I teach it live, we discuss the features of this plan that you all really like. So framework consists of, let's talk about anthropology a little bit. So cultural anthropology is the study of human cultures and seeks to understand how and why they function as they do. All businesses have a culture. So with that culture comes a theory or a framework of how and why you operate as you do. As with many structures, the framework should have a minimum of 3 tiers. So at your organization, I'll call you XYZ, Maslow's theory of human motivation has, it has emerged as an operational theory. And Deming's Plan, Do, Study, Act has emerged as a way of studying performance. And disruptive innovation is a theory that everything is in a state of continual change. Maslow's theories, developed in 1943, discusses the physiological, the safety, loving and belonging needs, esteem, self-actualization, and cognitive, in 1970, cognitive knowledge was added. Okay, so many of you may be familiar with Maslow's theory, but it is definitely something that you need to think about when you're creating the framework for your business. Now, I've kind of created a sustainability theory of my own based on all of these things. So environmental sustainability has to do with the physiological aspects of sustainability. So you're thinking about air, food, drink, shelter, warmth, sex, sleep. Safety is protection from the elements, security, order, law, stability, freedom from fear. And aesthetic is the search for beauty and balance. Now, this is really important in environmental sustainability. And what sticks out here is the freedom of fear. Many people have fears of many things. And part of the thing that you want to provide in your business is a physiological feeling of safety. So determine what your employees' fears are and work through them and find out how you can alleviate those fears. Then, of course, social equal love and belonging. So things like friendship, intimacy, affection, and love. From work, family, and friends. I mean, you spend a good majority of your day at work. So this love and belonging is definitely a feeling that is most important in your work. Transcendence, helping others to actualize, and cognitive knowledge and meaning. These are very important aspects that need to be provided for in the workplace. And as we said, people are spending so much of their lives in the workplace. These are all important concepts to understand. Now we have economic, so esteem. So you want your employees to feel achievement, mastery. You want them to feel independent, like you trust them. You want them to feel like they're important. Be sure they feel like they have self-respect. And then self-actualization, need to be sure their personal potential, self-fulfillment, and personal growth is fulfilled. So when you're creating your sustainability plan, Deming's PDSA is very important. So once you have created your plan, your goal, your idea, your purpose, and you put it into action. So sometimes you can start a small pilot, a small scale. Let's just say you're starting a recycling program, and say you have just like one building. Say you're on a campus, you have multiple buildings. You say, okay, well, let's start with one building and let's see how it works, and let's find out what does and doesn't work. And then you would study your plan, you would study the outcomes, and then you would close the circle and determine if you need to change your methods or reformulate what you're doing. So the Deming principles that are applicable to revitalization of your organization include creating constancy of purpose, to create a sense of pride and provide whatever you want to provide, the things that are in your vision, mission, and values. You want to adopt a new philosophy. So now you're in a new economic age, you have a strategic plan. So you want to look at that philosophy. You want to institute training and growth for your city or your university jobs or whatever your organizational structure might be. You want to drive out fears so that everyone may work effectively, break down barriers, and then you want to remove those barriers that rob anybody of his right to pride. And then you put everyone in your town, campus, whatever you're working on, to work to accomplish the transformation, because transformation, in order for it to be successful, everybody has to be a part of that transformation. So in regard to the Plan, Do, Study, Act, the plan must be created with the team, and it must incorporate goals that incorporate your theory. You must implement the plan. Pilots are often a good way. Plan must have been dollarized so that you can see how doing the plan makes sense. Then you want to measure the results and report the results in at least 3 ways. My philosophy has always been, whether I'm an engineer, when I design something that I need to look at my design in at least 3 ways to be absolutely certain I haven't left anything out. And then in action, you want to look at your process changes, and you may wish to update your goals and expand. Um, so disruptive innovation is a term of art coined by Clayton Christensen. It describes a process by which a product or service takes root initially in simple applications at the bottom of a market and then relentlessly moves up the market, eventually displacing established competitors. Well, this theory works fine in regard to creating a sustainability program as well. So you want to come up with how you're going to change your organization and what the disruptive innovators are, and then how you're going to sustain these innovations. And then you can keep up with the pace of technical progress. So for your theoretical framework, you may wish to use Maslow's hierarchy of needs, Deming's PDSA, and also disruptive innovation. And that is how I run my personal business. So you might look at this and see if this particular theoretical framework would work well for your organization. So the next thing we normally do if we're in a class setting is we break out in groups and work on these activities. So I'll just keep going. You know, you would want to talk about your culture. You want to talk about what culture do you want? Is it the same or different from what you have? And then you would go into an activity where you will write down who, where, and what you want your organization to look like. And then after that, we go back and talk about policies and procedures in your organization. So a policy is a deliberate system of principles to guide decisions and achieve outcomes. And a procedure is how to carry out the policy. So let's look at an example of policies and procedures. And so here's an example utilizing UT system where I worked at one time. So the policy, they had a sustainability policy and they had an energy policy. And that's for UT system. And then UT Southwestern, which is a sub part of that system, had different policies. So one on temperature set points, and they had one on purchasing. These policies, you know, would feed into the sustainability and energy policy. And then what you would do is like you would look for gap analysis throughout your organization. So what policies do you have, and do they feed into, does it provide you the policies you need to meet the energy and sustainability policies for your organization? So then we would go into another activity where you would look in your policy handbook and create a gap analysis. These are things you need to think about when you're creating your plan. And then you would present your plan. And then I would send you home with some homework of what you needed to do to create your plan. So I hope that this outline was helpful for you. And once I said again, if you want me to help your organization create a sustainability plan, I'd be more than happy to do so. So it was great seeing you guys today. I hope you enjoyed this presentation, and have a great week, and you'll see class 3 next week. Thank you.